Get that phone out. Push send to Mojo in the morning. 844-665-6548. 844-MOJO live. 95th caller.
Mojo in the morning's Dirty on the 30.
Let's get the Dirty on the 30 on here, and let's go with Shannon.
What happened with this Giannis dude last night?
He scored a lot of points.
He is... Okay, so it was a franchise record for him, right? 64 points, okay? He wanted the game ball. Wanted a little souvenir from this big game. Well, Indiana coach Rick Carlisle said no because the Pacers decided to take the ball for this Oscar. I don't even know how to say his last name. I'm not going to pretend I do. Tishboy, who scored his first official NBA point during the game. So they were like, well, we want the game ball for him. It was a big game for him. And Giannis was like, well, wait a second, there's a big game for me. So this led to a confrontation between the members of the two teams in the arena hallway, the Bucks and the Pacers. And so several Bucks players, including Giannis, came into the Pacers tunnel looking for this ball, and like a scuffle. I love that word. A scuffle ensued. Somebody was elbowed in the ribs. I mean, it was just.
Do we know? And Kevin, you work with the Pistons, so don't they have like 12 game balls? Is there really only one game ball?
Sometimes, like in halftime, they'll switch, but they typically like the teams. Really, it's the star players who actually matter. They'll shoot around with a lot of balls, and then they'll pick one, and then that's the ball that they use.
Yeah. Well, I guess Giannis did end up with the ball.
What happened after the game was unfortunate.
Former Pistons coach.
There's a misunderstanding about the game ball. It was Oscar Tshiebwe's first official NBA point, so we always get the game ball. We were not thinking about Giannis's franchise record, so we grabbed the ball, and a couple of minutes later, several of their players ended up in our hallway, and there was a big I don't know what to call it, a fracas,
whatever. Wait, that's a better word than scuffle.
A kerfuffle. There was a kerfuffle that was going on.
I've never heard the word crack.
Why did he sound like John Travolta?
I like that.
I like the teammates came through the ball.
Yeah, I do
This is
too,
Giannis.
actually.
I'm not gonna lie. I have no idea. I don't know. I really don't know. I don't know. I have the ball, but I don't know if it's a game ball. It doesn't feel like the game ball to me.
Come on, how do you feel that?
It's not like Space Jam where
I guess they have a reserve ball
I
as well.
can tell.
That might be it.
From I played 35 minutes a day. I know how the game ball felt. The ball that I have, which I'll take, and I'll give it to my mom for sure. But I don't know if it's actually the game balls. But
You
it's
do not know
it's
which
okay.
ball, do you?
Oh,
Yeah.
he had 64 points, so he had the ball in his hand.
Is it? The NFL has like 8,000 balls that they use during a game. Why doesn't the NBA have like all kinds of balls?
I don't know.
The league has so much money. They said put another ball out there. Who the hell cares?
Serious about that though.
Yeah, that's crazy.
There is somebody who is hating on Taylor Swift this morning. How dare she? Talk show
On
and
her
podcast
birthday?
host.
They better be careful.
Yeah, Megyn Kelly is chastising Taylor for attending a comedy show benefiting humanitarian relief in Gaza. It was that show that she attended with Selena Gomez. And Megyn Kelly says this is raising questions about whether or not she stands with Israel.
A group that NGO Monitor has described as highly political, presenting a highly biased view of the Israel-Palestine war, ignoring any Palestinian responsibility for hardship, and contributing to the demonization of Israel. That is the group Taylor Swift thought it might be fun to help raise money for, attend the fundraiser for.
Megyn Kelly is now calling for a Taylor Swift boycott.
She owes Israelis and Jewish Americans an apology, and I hope they boycott her events until she issues it, because attending this thing was wrong. It was wrong. Do some Googling. See what they do in Gaza to gays. See about women's rights in Gaza, Taylor.
Yeah. NFL owners voted unanimously yesterday to award Super Bowl, I think 61, to Los Angeles, the second time in 5 years.
When is Super
LA
Bowl
will
61? Is
host
that the next
game.
one?
It's for the 2026 season, so it'll be played in 2027.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, the game will be televised on ESPN and ABC. New Orleans hosting in 2025. Of course, Vegas next year, then New Orleans, then Santa Clara in 2026, and then LA 2027.
When will they ever? They did Detroit because remember the first year that Ford Field was around, they gave them the Super Bowl.
2006.
And they don't go back to cold cities. You know, they've only done I think Detroit, Indianapolis maybe had one, and Minneapolis had one. But why don't they move it around?
I don't blame them.
You don't think so?
If they just make so much more money from people visiting places like Vegas and LA,
Yeah.
it makes more sense. They have the infrastructure for it.
So
But-
is it better in warmer cities? Or?
I would imagine people want to go out.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
It's a
I-
price.
yeah,
It's an
I
experience,
agree
a
with that.
festival.
But then it also makes it so fans of the game can't go to these big events either because they don't have the money to travel across and
But
stay
then
in
you-
these
Very
places
true.
and buy the tickets and.
You could be around the stadium though, which would be just as electric as going to if
Yeah.
you can't afford it. So
Yeah.
that's why it'd be smart to do it in a warmer state.
We're doing the NFL draft this year, and they're already working. We've got promotions coming up here for our show, and you should see, by the way, what Detroit has in store for this NFL
Let's
draft.
go.
I mean, all the hotels are all sold out. Did you guys know that?
I didn't.
That the league's purchases every room in all the hotels, and they
It's
give
April,
them.
right?
Yeah,
That's when that's happening.
they give them to teams. They give them to agents who have players coming in. I mean, it's going to be a really crazy time.
Should I go out on the streets and mess with people here for the draft?
You should rent your
I was
Airbnb your
literally
apartment.
thinking
Oh
that.
my
Yes,
gosh, you
that's
could make
what you should
so
do.
much money.
You should make so much money off
Come
that
stay
apartment
with me
here.
for a couple days. Make some money.
Or should I go around and be like, what's going on? They're like, the draft. What's that?
Yeah. Okay, how cool is this? A shelter employee, like a rescue mission shelter employee, was going through a whole bunch of donated items. This is in Oregon. Finds this pair of gold shoes at the bottom of the bin recently. It was a pair of Air Jordans. The designer of these Air Jordans confirmed they were made for Spike Lee to wear at the Academy Awards in 2019. Somehow they end up in this donation bin, valued at more than 10 grand. So now those shoes gonna be up for auction for the next couple of days, expected to be sold for nearly $20,000, and all of that money will go to this Portland rescue mission.
That is great.
I love that.
That is great.
And lastly, an update to a big story in our Channel 955 listening area. A 28-year-old Detroit man has been charged in connection to the murder of Samantha Wall, that Detroit synagogue leader who was stabbed to death at her home a couple of weeks ago. Michael Jackson Villanos was arraigned late last night. Wayne County prosecutor Kim Worthy announced he is being charged with felony murder, home invasion, lying to a police officer. He faces life in prison without parole if he's convicted on all charges. Now, our police chief and Kim Worthy both reiterated there is no evidence that points to this being a hate crime. They also said this man did not know Samantha Wall. He allegedly broke into and was attempting to break into vehicles in the area the day that she was murdered.
I think about
Wow.
her every time I go past that synagogue.
Yeah,
I
right
think
there,
about
yeah.
her almost every day.
For all of today's Dirty, get caught up on the podcast on mojointhemorning.com.
Miss something in the Dirty on the 30? Listen on our podcast now at mojointhemorning.com.
Your call may be monitored or recorded.
Sarah, you are a winner. Congratulations.
That was the Oprah sound. It was the Oprah sound.
Congratulations to you. You're,
Thank you.
you could be seeing Taylor Swift in Indianapolis. We got you qualified for that. All you need to do is stick on the line here, and we'll get some information from you. You're going to win $100 in Christmas cash, thanks to Zod Ford in Holly, Michigan. And get ready, grand prize tomorrow morning we'll be announcing. Okay?
Thank you. I love you guys.
Aw, we love you too.
We love you too.
Hang on the phone, and we'll get your information from you, all right?
Thank you so much.
Another couple of chances tomorrow, and then grand prize winner tomorrow morning.
You and your new man are so happy. Which is why he's DMing his ex-girlfriend behind your back. Another War of the Roses is after 9 on Mojo in the Morning.